It's been 27 years since Pikachu was first introduced to the world, and since then the series has grown to become one of the most successful gaming franchises of all time. In fact, more than a whopping 440 million Pokemon video games have been sold worldwide. That's crazy. From the games, to the TV series, and even the trading cards, Pokemon has had a huge influence on the world since it was created, and we're going to explore it all. So, how was Pokemon created? Well, it was invented by a Japanese man called Satoshi Tajiri. The birth of Pokemon starts all the way back in 1982, when Satoshi started a gaming magazine together with his friend called Game Freak. This was then turned into a gaming company in 1989, and together with his friends he released a few games, such as Pulseman, Yoshi and Mario, and Wario. Satoshi was inspired by his childhood exploring forests and finding bugs and tadpoles. He was even given the nickname Dr. Bug by his friends. With this, Satoshi came up with the idea for Pocket Monsters, which he pitched to Nintendo. Nintendo were a bit unsure at first, but eventually accepted, and Satoshi spent the next 6 years working to make Pocket Monsters a reality. On the 27th of February 1996, Pocket Monsters released in red and green version for the Game Boy in Japan. These games were on cartridges, and players could trade Pokemon using a cable to connect to each other's Game Boy. These games went on to sell millions of copies and were later released in the US in 1998 and the UK a year later as a red and blue version. The name was also shortened from Pocket Monsters to Pokemon. Since then, more generations of Pokemon games have been released, from Gold to Silver, to Ruby and Sapphire, Diamond and Pearl, Black and White, X and Y, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and even more. With each new generation, more Pokemon joined the game. In fact, there are now around 898 different species of Pokemon, so it's gonna take you a long time to catch them all. The first sets of cards were released on October the 20th, 1996, containing 102 cards. Pokemon cards became so popular, tournaments started appearing where people could battle it out, and there is now even a World Championship tournament. Since then, more than 30 billion cards have been printed, and some people even pay hundreds of thousands of pounds for some of the most rare cards. The most single expensive Pokemon card to be sold was the illustrated card, which Logan Paul brought for $5.275 million. The animated series we all know and love today was created in 1997. But did you know that our beloved Ash Ketchum used to be called Satoshi after its creator? When the series was first released worldwide, the producers changed Satoshi's name to Ash Ketchum, and since then there's been 23 series of Pokemon and more than 1,000 episodes of the show. In 2019, Ash finally beat the Alola Pokemon League to become a Pokemon Master in the Sun and Moon series. In 2016, a pretty big game landed on our phones and made waves around the world upon its release. Pokemon Go. This game was pretty groundbreaking as it allowed players to explore their neighborhood in the real world. Pokemon Go smashed download records on its release and has since been downloaded more than 1 billion times. 2 years later, in 2018, Nintendo released a remake of the Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow games in the form of Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. New technology meant that the players could use the Nintendo Switch controllers to throw Pokeballs and use a special Pokeball controller. The game broke records in its first week of release and sparked a new wave of Pokemon remakes like Pokemon Snap. The Pokemon company has even hinted that there might be more remakes on the way, so fans will have to wait and see. I hope you liked this video, and don't forget to subscribe. It's free and it helps us a lot. Till next time, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.